Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Mark and I flip cars as a side hustle. In this video, I'm just going to explain how you can become a car trader within the UK. Number one, gain some market knowledge, so find out what sells locally to you. For example, if you live in a city, then small engine petrol cars may be your target market, or if you live in a rural hilly area, then maybe 4x4s may be your target market. Number two, test the market. So before you jump in and buy everything you need to become a car trader, buy a vehicle you think can make a bit of money on. So scour the markets, for example, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Gumtree, Auto Trader, etc. and just see if you can negotiate a good deal on a car that tickles your fancy. As it's a test vehicle, make sure that you tax and insure it before driving it. Do any necessary work that needs doing to it, and then advertise it for sale. If you make a decent profit and you think it's worth your time, then we can progress to step 3. So this is quite important, step 3. So if you do think you're going to be doing this long term, you need to search for a motor trade policy. So now that you've tested the waters with your first car, it's time to take it a bit more serious really. So if you're looking at selling vehicles on a regular basis, then taking out a motor trade policy is pretty essential. There's plenty of brokers out there to help you find the best policy tailored around your needs. For example, my first policy allowed me to have unlimited cars valued at £5,000 or less. That also included demonstration cover. And again, this is pretty essential to allow potential buyers to test drive your cars, along with it being a fully comprehensive policy too, just to cover yourself and third parties in any kind of accidents. My first year came at a cost of around £1,500. However, this also depends on your location. So, for example, the higher the crime rate in your area, the higher the premium will be. My policy has changed slightly over the years, as I now have a few years no claims, and I've increased my indemnity, which is the value of the cars, to £7,500. And I now pay around £1,100 a year. So now you've got your trade insurance policy sorted, it's now to apply for trade plates. Again, another essential requirement. So trade plates cover you to drive any vehicles that aren't taxed. So say for example, if you won a car at an auction, or if you were to buy a car off Facebook Marketplace, you don't have to tax it in your name if you've got trade plates. Each set of trade plates roughly costs around £150 a year, and you can only apply for them through the DVLA website. And just to note, they don't cover you if you're parking vehicles out on public roads. So if you don't have any private space like a driveway, then you will still need to tax each vehicle that you bought. The best way to do this is to set up a monthly direct debit. So when you sell the vehicle, you can simply cancel the direct debit once the logbook, which is a V5, has been transferred to the new owner's name. Also, another side note, trade plates only cover you to drive untaxed vehicles, not cars without an MOT. The only legal way of driving a car with no MOT is by booking an MOT slot with a garage and driving it straight to their premises. The only other option really of collecting a vehicle with no MOT is by arranging recovery. So moving on, you've got to have the essential kit when you're looking over a potential vehicle. So you're obviously there with a view of buying it, so it's important to have the essentials with you to look over the car and a few things you'll need whilst taking the car back with you. So in no particular order, you're going to need a code reader or a diagnostics machine, even just a basic one for the time being, just to check if you have any active codes on the vehicle. Over time, you can upgrade your OBD reader to a better one once you've made some profit after your first few flips. I'm currently using a Top Don, which was around £200, but I initially started off with just a cheap Amazon jobby that cost around £15. You'll also need a jump pack or jump leads. A jump pack would be better as you don't need access to another vehicle, and they're not very expensive either, but they can be quite weighty. You can easily get a decent one for under £50. And then in addition, make sure you take water or coolant with you. 2 litres should do it. A rag or tissue just to check oil levels. And that's pretty much it really. They're just a basic essential kit. Otherwise you're going to be carting around a lot of heavy kit throughout the day. The next important thing, again in no particular order, is breakdown cover. So this should probably be further up the list really, but I completely forgot about it at the time of writing up the list. So make sure you take out a policy that covers you as an individual rather than, a particular vehicle, as this will cover you for any car you drive. I've got a policy with a company called Auto Aid, and I've luckily only ever had to use them once after breaking down around 80 miles around from home. A bargain I think is £75 a year. If you're not just looking to buy off Facebook or eBay, you may well worth considering registering with auction sites. So register with the likes of BCA, Mannheim and Aston Barclay. There's also loads of other independent auction sites scattered across the country. So just do a bit of research and find one that's local to you. The independent auction sites usually have cheaper fees too. I'm currently registered with British Car Auctions, BCA as they're better known. As they're the largest auction group in the UK with plenty of sites to choose from. There's 5 locally to me, but like I said, just do some research just to find your local sites to make it more convenient for you. BCA don't charge any fees when you sign up. Well, they didn't when I signed up a few years ago anyway. I think there's a charge of around £70 to join either Mannheim or Aston Barclay, but you can easily make that up if you make some decent profits flipping cars. So once you start buying vehicles, you're going to need to start fixing any issues. So make a list of everything that needs doing to it. For example, any paint that's missing, bald tyres, missing trim pieces, etc. And just rectify as much as you can, just if it's economical to do so. The last thing you want is for a potential buyer to look around your car only to be put off by minor things that could have been rectified beforehand. And this moves on to my next point, standing out from the crowd. So once any issues have been rectified, it's now time to wash and polish it. To make things easier, it's worth investing in a machine polisher. Prices really do vary, but I've been using a Fond House rotary polisher that cost me around £75 a few years ago. Also, premium polishing pads are also worth buying because the cheap ones, they just fall apart and don't really offer the same finish as the premium ones. I'm not a detailer by any means, so there's loads of videos on YouTube on how to wash, polish and detail cars, but if you're stuck for time, then just chuck it through a hand car wash, both inside and out, and you'll just be left to polish it. Once you're happy with the finished article, it's now time to take pictures. If you don't have a large drive, find an area with a nice backdrop to use. I know it's a bit of a faff, but I tend to take a picture with the same background in every photo, so it means moving the car to a different angle after every picture is taken. In my personal opinion, I think it just looks a bit more professional. So take as many pictures as you can, both inside and out, a mixture of close-up pictures and normal angle shots. I only use my smartphone, so you don't need to buy any expensive camera equipment, but if you have a camera to hand anyway, then it's definitely worth using. Once you're happy with the amount of pictures you've taken, it's worth scrolling through and checking if they need editing. For example, if there's rubbish on the floor that needs deleting from the photo, or if the overall picture is too bright or dark. It'd be a shame to put all that work into washing, polishing and taking loads of pictures only for them to look rubbish. I use a free mobile app called Snapseed. You can make a number of adjustments, but the key is to not over edit your pictures as they're no longer look natural either. So moving on to the next point, advertising and writing up a description. So once you've edited the pictures, it's now time to advertise. I generally use a free service for the first week or two, like Facebook Marketplace, just before listing on the likes of eBay and Auto Trader. Upload your finished pictures and write a description. So when you're writing a description, make sure you list all of the specifications of the car. For example, air conditioning, heated seats, front heated windscreens, etc. Also list any service history and write up a list of every stamp or invoice you have, in addition to listing any maintenance history like clutch or cam belt replacements. Also highlight any major defects, as it always pays to be honest, but if it's just the odd scratch or small dent and it's a 10-year-old car for example, then it's just worth putting something like it's in good condition for the year with age related marks. Then once you've finished writing up your description, at the bottom just list the price, location, and then it's HPI clear, obviously if it is. If your car is an insurance write-off, then you have to declare this too. So once you're happy with the description and you've advertised it, it's now time to move on to viewing and selling. So hopefully, once you've listed your car up for sale, you should start receiving some interest. Try not to negotiate a price through messages, as it's highly likely they'll try and negotiate a lower price upon arrival. Also, don't let too many people or a crowd of people look around your car. just 1 or 2 people at a time. 9 times out of 10, you'll get genuine people coming to view your car, but you'll also come across the odd person who are looking to get in the bargain and aren't a genuine buyer. Going back to the genuine buyers though, if you're happy with the price they've offered, that's if they've even tried to bargain with you, then it's time to fill out the paperwork. So top tip, I always advertise a car slightly higher than what I like. So it's highly likely you'll receive what you want for it really. If both yourself and the buyer is happy with the price, then take the details and provide the receipt. There's plenty of templates online, along with completing the logbook, again, the fee 5. This can also be done online on the DVLA website between the hours of 7 AM and 7 PM. And that's it really. You've just bought and sold a car and hopefully made a profit too. If you're looking at doing this more regularly, then you'll have to pay tax on your profit. So depending if you're in a job already or looking to make this your full-time job, then it's worth getting in touch with an accountant just to sort out all the tax stuff, because it can be quite daunting. So that concludes this video. I hope this has been very useful to you. Please feel free to fire any questions my way in the comments, as I'll gladly offer any extra help. So again, if you'd like to continue following my journey, feel free to like, subscribe, share, whatever you want to do, and I will see you in the next video.